Hello and welcome to Biznes Teraz. My name is Grzegorz Kowalczyk and today our guest is Patrick Harnett, Executive Vice President and COO of Ørsted. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Greg.
Ørsted is carrying out one of the largest offshore wind energy investment in Poland's history.
Yeah.
What is the current status of Baltica 2?
Well, it's a really good time for us to talk about that because today we actually took the final investment decision on Baltica 2 to invest in building the whole wind farm, and we took that decision today. So it's a momentous moment for both PGE and Ørsted.
And what milestones do you expect to achieve this year?
Well, we've already actually started some construction onshore. So PGE, our partner, they're doing the onshore substation and cable route. So we started that. We're also busily manufacturing all the different components that go into building an offshore wind farm. So we're sort of actually in the manufacturing phase. And we're clearing the seabed. We will be through 2025, clearing the seabed, removing large boulders and digging some trenches for the cables, ready for offshore installation to really commence in 2026, when we'll be installing the cables, the substations, the foundations, and also the turbines through into 2027, when we actually hit that milestone of creating the first green power out of Baltica 2 and finishing the wind farm off.
What is the scale of that project?
The project's enormous. So it's 1.5 gigawatts, and that's about 30 billion Polish zloty that's being invested between PGE and Ørsted in partnership in this enormous wind farm, the largest of its kind in Poland.
For many viewers, the impressive figures relative to Baltica 2 might be, quite challenging to grasp. So how can we compare the capacity more tangibly?
So the figures are enormous. So it's 1.5 gigawatts of wind farm that we're installing. What does that mean? It's so large, it's very difficult to understand. So that's kind of enough power to provide electricity for about 2.5 million Polish homes. It's also 107 individual turbines, and just one rotation of one of those turbines creates enough power for one house for one day. So you can imagine 107 turbines every single time the blades turn. That's a house for a day. They're turning all day long.
What is the offshore wind potential of the Polish part of Baltic Sea?
So the Polish part of the Baltic Sea has an incredible potential. Talking to our colleagues in Poland and in PGE, it's something like 18 gigawatts. So it's 10 plus times the size of the Baltica 2 project itself, and that's enough to supply about 30 million homes in Poland. So the potential there is absolutely enormous.
So why the Baltic Sea is quite a good place to such investment?
Well, the Baltic Sea is great. I mean, what the things you need for offshore wind to be successful is people living nearby. Lots of people live along the Baltic coast. You need sea and seabed, and actually the seabed's quite shallow. It's not such a deep sea as perhaps in the North Sea or other areas we see. And also you need wind, a really great wind resource. And we've got all that in the Baltic Sea, and so we're fantastically well placed to provide green energy to the Polish people.
You are developing the Baltica project in partnership with Polish Energy Group. So how is the collaboration going?
So the collaboration is going really well. Today we signed the final investment decision together. That is a massive step forward together as us as a partnership. And it's a really great partnership. Ørsted is the world's largest offshore wind developer with a huge experience. We've got over 20 years of experience of building offshore wind farms. And PGE is the largest generator and provider of energy in Poland. You couple those two things together, and you get an incredible partnership with incredible potential to deliver clean, renewable energy for Poland.
And how did you divide tasks and competencies between Ørsted and Polish Energy Group?
Well, first of all, Ørsted's the world's largest offshore wind developer. So we're doing the offshore wind bit to start with. And PGE is obviously incredibly experienced onshore in Poland, on the ground. How do we connect to the grid? So they're doing all the works onshore, connecting the cable into the grid, and we're doing all the works offshore, connecting to the turbines. But over time, there'll be a transfer of knowledge and experience between the two companies so we can do more and more together.
And how does the development of such amazing large-scale projects unfold in practice? What are the first steps in that project and the next, which are?
Well, that's a really good question. So in order to be able to invest in any country around the world, what there has to be a regime, an investment regime. In Poland, what we have is a contract for difference. And the Polish government's done a really smart thing. They've looked around the world at what the best approach is. They've taken that and they've made it actually better. And so that's really, really smart. The second thing you need a bit of seabed, and that's exactly what we've got. You need a connection to the national grid. And also then you need a consent which will allow you to build. So we've got all those things together. We've got the financial investment behind us and we're on our way.
Yeah, and what is the biggest challenge in executing a project of this scale? So offshore wind farm, as you mentioned, are not just turbines, but entire supporting infrastructure, right?
Absolutely. So building offshore wind is incredibly complex, interconnected process, really sort of big engineering out at sea. And so actually the big challenges are actually bringing those different parts together at exactly the same time in exactly the right way. And obviously from inception to where we are now, there's been lots of changes in the world with the war in Ukraine and inflation, and overcoming those was really important that PGE and Ørsted came together in order to work out a really, really good way forward, and we've done that now.
Ørsted has vast experience in many international projects. So do Polish investments have any unique characteristics or not?
Ørsted's done 30 wind farms around the world. The Polish investment's really exciting because it's a new market. It's with a new partner in a new market in the Baltic Sea, and we see the potential. If we can build this project together with our partners, there could well be potential for many more. So it's a pretty special one for us.
What can you say about regulations in Poland? It's easy and comfortable for companies like Ørsted, or rather we should something change to be more friendly for such investment?
Well, actually, we've one of the attractive things is the way in which things are set up in Poland. You can confidently make an investment because there's the contract for difference mechanism that has been set up, and that allows us to make an investment with a return that we can predict over a long period of time, 20 plus years, and that's really important for anybody investing in an energy market like offshore wind.
Baltica 2, as we mentioned, is Poland's most significant investment. Where would it rank in Europe?
So Baltica 2 is about 1.5 gigawatts. We've just completed in Ørsted the world's largest offshore wind farm currently, which is 1.4 gigawatts. So actually, in terms of investment, it's more significant than the current largest offshore wind farm in the world. But actually, the wind farms are growing and growing. So I'd say it's up there with the biggest wind farms currently in the world.
Local content is a key aspect of Poland's energy transition. So how does Ørsted collaborate with Polish business?
So we're really keen in order to collaborate with Polish business on local content and actually on exporting for other projects within the Ørsted portfolio as well. We've managed to work really well, and we've got about 30%, I think, of the project is spend in local content. And we're looking to see how we can actually develop that over time, work with partners in Poland, and actually make sure that there's a level and open playing field for everyone so that people can succeed.
Now we live in the era of rapid technological advancement in many spheres of our lives. So how do you see offshore wind technology evolving in coming years?
So that's a great question. So the first wind farm we ever built was back in 1991, and that was 11 turbines, and it was about 5 megawatts in total. Obviously, technology's come on enormously since then, and the turbines, each turbine is about 15 megawatts. What we see at the moment is that that's going to stay around about that size for a period of time, just because they're so large. But there may well be another step in the future. Efficiency, scale, that's what really makes offshore wind work.
And do you see any benefits of the AI revolution in your business?
Absolutely. So I think AI is an intricate part of any company and any company's future. What AI allows us to do is to analyze data in new and different ways so that we can actually optimize things. And we've been active in the AI space for a number of years now, and so we actually use it within our operational business quite actively.
So what will be the new era of energy investments with the AI tools?
It's all about optimization. It's all about doing everything that we do today, but with far greater intelligence, ability to analyze, and ability to react and move and make those things far more efficient and far more cost effective.
Thank you very much. Our guest was Patrick Harnett, Executive Vice President and COO of Ørsted. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Craig.